not a race, it's not a rush. This doesn't make a good looking mold, a lap rather. This makes a great looking lap. They just really don't get much better than this. Okay. The mold is off. As you can see, this mold went from a beautiful golden color to a pretty rough, dirty black. And I'm going to need to clean this off, which I will be doing probably for the next 2 weeks. But for right now, to the degree that I can, I'm going to just take as much pitch out of the mold as is possible. And this pitch can actually be recycled. There's no harm in recycling it. And I'll just throw it back into my bucket of pitch. And actually, I'll wash this off and maybe it won't be too terribly bad. Elizabeth, would you please take this carefully, 2 hands, don't get it on your shirt, and just put that in the sink. I would be grateful if you would do that for me. Thank you, Lamb Chop. Okay. Right now I can just start to snap off some of this excess pitch. Put it all in my melted pitch bucket. Found a little piece of wax paper, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, throw this in the garbage if you would please, Lamb Chop. Let's just see if we can get a real up close look. At that pitch lap. You can't see it all that well, but what you can see is that it's fairly even. Back it up just a hair. The squares are pretty regular. And I'm going to let it cool naturally for a little while now. Just sort of let it cool. Take the mirror out in a few minutes. And then I'm going to stick this under cold water once I know that the thermal shock should not be too bad. There we go, that's a nice view. You can see that the channels in the pitch lap are real square, real regular, but they're off center from the center of the tool, which is real important. And this should be a really good, really effective pitch lap. We'll be back with more, but right now I just want to go over to the sink and cool it off a little bit more. Welcome back. It's Sunday morning. Today's September 16th, 2007. It's my son Vincent's 27th birthday. We've let the pitch lap cool overnight, and now I'm just going to trim the lap a little bit. I've taken a plaster knife, and I'm just going to take it around the edge, trim off the excess pitch that's on here. Don't want to touch, I really don't like to touch the surface of the pitch lap. I know people do it, but if I can avoid it, I prefer to avoid touching it with my hands. The noise you hear upstairs is my 10-year-old son, Seamus. Seamus is a good guy, but he's profoundly autistic and sometimes is known to make some noises. So you'll hear him on occasion. I think he's a little frustrated with the computer today. He loves to look at Google Earth and go to various car dealers. One of the things about autistics is they have some things that interest them and they stick with them. Another thing is they don't like to sleep too much, so he was up at 3 this morning on the computer just looking at things on Google Earth and YouTube, and there we go, trimming down this lap. So you may hear him during the tape at some point or other today. He's come over to Daddy's house. Just taking a look around here, I want to make sure that this is fairly well trimmed. Pitch chips pretty well. Not too worried that it doesn't go all the way out to the end. It's just not really critical that it goes out to the end of the tool. The channels are about 1/4 inch deep, or you can say the pitch slab is about 1/4 inch from the substrate to the top, and that's just about right. And this is going to be a great little pitch slab. The next thing I have to do, now that I've trimmed this down, is I'm going to clean up the excess pitch. I'm going to heat the pitch slab in hot water in my sink. I have a slop sink down here in my basement. Then I'm going to bring it back over. Once the pitch is fairly warm and somewhat pliable, I'm going to place the pitch slab down face up on top of the stand. I'm going to put some wetting tool over it, and then I'm going to take the mirror and after having liberally applied cerium oxide to the mirror, I'm going to press the mirror down hard on top of the pitch slab to bring the two into good contact, put a lot of weight on it, and then when the two are in pretty good contact, I'm going to take it off and let the pitch slab cool, and from there the pitch slab will be done and I'll be ready to start polishing, which I can do this evening. Well, we're back. It is now still Sunday morning, September 16th, 2007, and it's fairly early. It's probably about 9:15, 9 o'clock, getting ready to go to church. But before I do that, I wanted to hot press this lap. I've got some wetting tool. I put the lap in hot water for a while. I've made the surface of the lap fairly pliable. I've got wetting tool. I'm going to lay it over the top of the lap and try to get it down there fairly evenly. Now the lap is really very warm, very pliable at this time. Turned on the water as hot as I could get it. Actually made myself fairly uncomfortable taking the lap off or out of the water, I should say. See if I can get all the wrinkles out here as I prepare to hot press this. I've got my mirror. I have slathered it aggressively with a thick mixture, a thick coating of cerium oxide, a lot of it on here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the mirror over, put it on top of the pitch slab, and just press down with all of my 220 pounds really hard. Just press it down with the wetting tool in between. Turn it a little bit. I really want to get good contact between the surface of the mirror, and remember this isn't really a mirror, it's really a substrate for a mirror, but between the surface of what we call the mirror and the tool, the pitch slab. Press hard, get good contact. I've seen some people put weightlifting weights on it and let it sit for a while, and that's certainly a legitimate thing to do to get good contact. And I'm just gonna let it stay, just gonna let it sit for a little while. This is called hot pressing.